What's up guys, welcome back to my YouTube video again, and in today's video I'll be sharing with you how to do retouching step from the beginning to the end. We're gonna go through frequency separation, local Dodge&Burn, global Dodge&Burn, skin color correction, eye enhancement and sharpening. So if you are ready, I'm ready, let's jump right to it. Alright, so first thing that we're gonna do here is gonna be the camera filter. So of course in here it actually nothing much crazy. I will do adjusting here, like I will just add some contrast, maybe a bit of exposure, drop the highlight, increase shadow, and I feel like there are too much of the warm tone here, so let's decrease it to add some cool tone. Alright, that's it, and then we're just gonna play a bit with the saturation and vibrance. Alright, now we're gonna jump into the Photoshop. So the first thing that you should do when you're gonna start doing retouching, you have to create the action for the retouching. Like right now I already have all the action for me. Like you see, frequency separation, local Dodge&Burn, global Dodge&Burn, and assisted Dodge&Burn. So this action is going to help your workflow become like a lot faster. Like when next time you come to editing, you don't have to redo everything again. You can just come here and click the action over here. So if you don't know how to do it, I will show you right now. And if for the people who already know about it, you can just skip this part. Alright, so the first thing that you're gonna do here, you have to go to Window and Action, and then you have to start making a folder for you. I'm gonna name like Retouching for YouTube. Okay, and then you're gonna click the plus button over here. Just rename like all of them like in a short name, like fs local Dodge&Burn, global Dodge&Burn, and assisted local Dodge&Burn. Right, then just click record. And the first thing that you want to do here, you want to duplicate two layers. So right now we are creating the frequency separation. So firstly, let's rename this one to color, and this one to texture. Right, and then you want to go to color layer and go to filter and blur, Gaussian blur, and add the radius to something, maybe at 2.9, and then go back to texture layer and go to image, apply image, and change the layer over here to color and the blending mode to subtract. And also make sure that your scale and offset is set the same like me. Let's scale at 2 and offset at 128, and then just click OK. And then you want to change the blend mode over here to linear light, and then you can hold shift and group it and rename this one to frequency separation. Right, cool. And then we're gonna do the local Dodge&Burn. In the local Dodge&Burn, you want to use curve tool. Firstly, we're gonna do the local dot. In the local dot, you want to lift up the highlight point on the curve tool to something like this, or you can go farther or lesser, that's depending on you, but for me at this point it's the best. And then you want to invert the layer mask by clicking Ctrl I. Then let's rename this one to local dot. And then the same in the local burn, you want to use a curve tool again and lower add the shadow point over here, and then let's rename this one to local burn. And then let's group it. And then we're gonna rename this one to local Dodge&Burn. Right, cool. And then the next thing we're gonna do here is gonna be global Dodge&Burn. It's gonna be the same exactly technique that we're gonna do here. Like use the curve tool in the global dots, invert the layer mask, and rename this one to global dodge. And then this is gonna be the global burn. And then you want to hold shift again and group it to global Dodge&Burn. And right now we want to create the assisted local Dodge&Burn. So basically it's going to be like the black and white layer. So you have to go to solid color and choose the color something like at the gray color, and then change the blend mode to color. And then we want to use curve tool to add the contrast. I will drag the contrast point down to something like this and shift up the highlight point and the white a bit to the left, around something like this. So you see right now we can see like the highlight and the shadow that is not consistent on her face much better than before. So that's why we need this assisted local Dodge&Burn. And then you want to hold shift and control G to group it, and then let's rename it to assisted local DB. Right, cool. And then you want to go back to your action over here and click stop. Okay, right now let's check if everything we have done over here is work normally or not. So I want to delete everything over here and then go back to my action, like retouching for YouTube, and click over here and click play. And you see, so right now we got what we have done. So alright, so the first thing that I always start it here is gonna be the frequency separation. In the frequency separation, there are so many techniques out there that you can do, but for me, I always use the mixer brush. So in today's video, I'll be sharing with you how to use a mixer brush with the frequency separation. Alright, so let's get started. So the first thing I will do here, I will come to color layers, and then I will lower the opacity over here to something maybe, I don't know, 50, and then I will go to mixer brush. Also make sure that you can set, the setting over here the same as me, so that's going to be like the proper set. Alright, in this mixer brush over here, how it works is like you have to, sample like by holding Alt from the good area, and then you can just paint over on the bad area, basically like the area that have like too much shadow or the area that is not so consistent. So I will sample from this white area over here, you see, and then I'm gonna brush over this shadow area, and now magic just gets started. And every time you move to the new area, you always have to sample to the area that next to each other, so that's gonna give you such a realistic look. Alright, and you don't want to like press your hand so hard, because that's gonna make everything look so fake. Alright, always make sure to do with the color layer too. because sometimes like you see when you see in the black and white layer, it's kind of look like, you know, it's not clean yet, but in the color layer it's already clean enough. So if you only do in the black and white layer, it's going to make like your picture look over retouching. So make sure to do with the both layer, black and white and the color. Sometimes I will press this an action brush, so you know it's gonna give like the effect a bit lesser, like see, and when you open it, it's gonna give like much strong effect. So this depends on the area. For example, when I want to go on her cheek, I just want to blend everything together, not like remove those shadow. I'm gonna off the action over here. But when I want to remove something, I'm just gonna get it on. Like for example, like the shadow on her forehead over here. Right. Cool, I think we've done pretty good job on frequency so far. Let's see before and after. And this girl have the really beautiful skin. Alright, so I think we're done here. Let's see before and after again. So in this part, it's gonna be the local Dodge&Burn. In the local Dodge&Burn, we are targeting to like a highlight and shadow that is not consistent on her face. So let me show you on the black and white layer. Like you see, there are some okay, let me just turn on the blank layer and do a circle for you. Alright, moment. This dark circle over here, we can use the local dots to lighten it up. And also some part on her forehead over here too. A bit on this side. You know, this area is gonna be like the area that we're gonna use like a dot to lighten it up and smooth her face to look more like flattened. But you also have to be careful to, in some case that our model have some freckle like this, we don't want to take it off because you know that's her like beauty natural. So we just want to just skip it and do some other part instead. Actually, we are going to enhance it, and I will show you how to do enhance freckle later. Alright, and now let's focus on the highlight area that is not consistent. Let's change the color. Let's go with the blue or this area. A bit in this one. Actually, this shot don't have much of the highlight area. They're not so consistent because you know, like we shoot outside, and usually when we shoot outside, there will be like more shadow that is not consistent more than the highlight. So yeah, this shot is pretty good lighting actually, so we don't have much problem over here. So now I will show you how to do local Dodge&Burn. Alright, we can off this one. Awesome. So I will use a brush tool with the 1% floor and 100 opacity, and make sure you use like soft round brush and the hardness at 0. For the first area over here, I will start on a dark circle right here. So the way we're gonna do the brushing over here, you want to brush from outside to inside. You don't want to brush from inside to outside because that's not gonna blend everything. So you want to brush from outside to inside, and also not the heavily brushing, but like softly, you know, like brushing it, like try to blend it. Right, I think I overdone over here a little bit. Yeah. And you know, every time when you overdone, you can just click X to switch your brush to the black color, and then you can just paint on this area that you have overdone it. So it's just gonna remove it. And when you want to redo it, just click X again to switch back. Right. This area over here. And again, make sure that you work on the black and white layer and the color layer. Now let's check before and after. So far so good. Now move on to the right side. And for the size of the brushing, you can use a shortcut by clicking the slide bucket on your keyboard. Like the left one is for smaller and the right one is for bigger. Check before and after. Nice. Now let's move to her mouse area over here. Before and after. And you know, if you feel like you have done like kind of too much, you can always like just lower the opacity over here to get a little less effect right here. But I will do that when I am finished everything already, not like something in the middle. So right now I'm just going to keep at the 100% opacity, and then at the end of the local Dodge&Burn, I will just playing around with, you know, this opacity over here. You know, this technique is like time consuming, so you have to be patient, listen to music when you are doing it. Look awesome. See, look a lot cleaner before, after. Right. Before and after. And now I'm just gonna roll the opacity a little bit, maybe something 76. Yes, look nice to me. Alright, cool. And the next thing that I will do here is gonna be skin color correction. Like you see over here, we have some green leaf that is not so pleasant on her forehead right here, and you know, her face, it look kind of too much yellow, and her hair too. So I will just show you how to do it. So we will use the hue saturation over here, and then I will go to yellow channel, and then I will just lower the opacity to something, I don't know, like 10, and also like shift the hue to the left a little bit, you know, to make her skin look some kind of brownish, and lighten this up. Now let's see before and after. Alright, on her forehead over here. So firstly, you have to understand that, you know, you are going to remove just the color of the leaf over here, not the texture, but just only the color. So what we are going to do right here, we're just going to target the color only, but not the texture. So what I will do right here, I will create a new layer and change the blend mode to color right here, and then I will use the brush tool. I will hold on to, you know, to the color that is similar and near to this green area over here, holding on and start like sunburning it, and make sure like the floor is at 100%, and then you can just start brushing over it. You see, we are just going to remove the color right over here, but not the textures. And now you see, it might look a little weird, right? So because of the color of this area over here, it's not the same color. So the way to fix here, you just want to, you know, like brush this color over her forehead, like all the area. And then if it look a bit too much, again, you can just play around with the opacity, dim it down a little bit. Alright, and it might just look a bit slightly not so blending. So what I will do again right here, I will create another layer, and this time I want to, you know, like target both of the things, like the texture and the color. So I will just go on the normal blend mode, but this time you have to lower the floor to something just 2%, and then start sunburning, you know, from the color like this, similar to that's near to this area, and then start blending it.
check before and after. All right. Now let's see before and after. You see, look pretty much cleaner, right? And if you want to like perfectly blend everything out, you can just go back to Dodge&Burn again. You see, because right now it has some like a strong shadow right here, so you can go back to the local dot and start do some dodging on this area. Do some burn. Let's see before and after. Now look perfect to me. Alright, so the next thing that we are going to do here is going to be the global Dodge&Burn. The global Dodge&Burn we use to add the depth of field to the model face and add some dimension, give her face like a 3D look. So let's jump right into it. Alright, so the first thing that I will do here, I will go back to the assisted local Dodge&Burn layer, and then I will remove the contrast point or the curve point out and just do only black and white. Alright, so what you're gonna do here, you want to target to the area that is already have the highlight and shadow on the model face, and then we just want to enhance it. For example, on the eyes over here that is already have the highlight, we just want to enhance it. And so this area right here, a bit over here, and on the top of her nose right over here, and on the lips right here. A bit on her chin. So right over here, we just want to enhance those areas, to make it more pop, to make it more beautiful. And then on the shadow area, usually it's gonna be on her cheek, right over here, and the right side, and like around her face, like on the circle right here. Like around her face over here, and maybe like on her nose, the side of her nose, the eye, right here. You get the idea. So yeah, we're gonna target on this area on the global burn. So now let me show you how I will do it. Alright, so I will start with the global dot. So firstly, I will change the floor to just 1%, and then I will use like a big brush and start painting to those areas. The eyes, lips, mouth right here, on the chin, now let's go with the global burn. Start from the circle outside, start on the cheek, here. A bit on the nose side and top of the nose. The lips. Let's see before and after. You see it gives like such a small bump depth to her face. Alright, and then what we're gonna do again, we're gonna go to her hair to make it like more pop, but this time I will use the soft light to do that. So we're gonna create like 2 new layers right over here, and then change the blend mode to soft light again, both of them, and let's rename this one to highlight. And this one to shadow. So I will just do the black and white layer to do that. Now we're gonna brush over the highlight area of her hair. Shadow. And also in the case of some people who want to get like some kind of fantasy look, not like so natural, retouching, I recommend to do another of the global Dodge&Burn but with the overlay layer right over here. You can use the same technique, but this time we're gonna use the overlay layer and then start painting the white on the highlight area again. You can use the black and white. So this time it's gonna create some kind of shiny effect on her face, and then the black on the let's see before and after. And if it's too much, of course you can just reduce the opacity. Something like it, yeah. See before, after. See, now it's gonna create some kind of shiny effect, dreamy effect to her face. Alright, so the last step that I will show you here is gonna be like the eyes enhancement and the sharpening. So let's jump right into it. So how to do the eye enhancement? Again, you have to just targeting to the area that is already have the highlight that it's already existed, like on the eyes over here and over here. So we want to just enhance to those areas. So firstly, I will create a new layer again right here, and then I will use the white color, make the floor and opacity at 100%. And then I will just make like the brush to that small cast light area, and then just do one click like this and on top right here. Now let's zoom out, and of course right now it's look a bit weird, right? So you just want to double click over here, and then you want to hold Alt and then start sliding to the right of this underlying layer. until you get the effect that you like. For me, something like this look pretty good to me. And if you feel like the effect is still like look too much, again you can just reduce the opacity to something that is kind of blended. For me, something like this look pretty nice to me. Alright, and then this time we want to use curve layer and increase the highlight point over here, and then invert the layer mask, and then you want to brush to the opposite side of the cast light that you have done before, something right over here. And now let's reduce the opacity. And let's see before and after. This is before and after. Look pretty good, right? And if you want to get a little more effect, you can just increase the opacity right over here. But for me, something like this look like good to me. Alright. Okay, and now I'm gonna show you how to sharp the image. Actually, there are so many ways to sharp the image, but today's video I will show you how to use the high pass for sharpening. Alright, so firstly you have to hold Shift Control Alt E to merge all the layer, and then we're gonna go to Filter, Other, and High Pass right here. And the radius over here is determined on how much you want to sharp the image. For me, I will go just something around 5 pixels. And then you want to change the blend mode to overlay. And of course we have to create the layer mask and invert it. And I just want to sharp on the eyes area. And then on like some other feature, I'm just gonna reduce the opacity to something like 18 to 20. And in this way we can use also like to enhance the breakout, so you see, get some dot texture back. Something here. Alright, so now we've done the sharpening. Let's see before and after. Just look a bit more sharper. Okay, so now we're done with the retouching. So let's see before and after together again. This is before and this is after. Right.
If you like this video, make sure to hit that subscribe and like button. Also make sure to hit that notification bell so you won't miss any of my next video. And thank you so much again for watching the video. Thank you. Bye bye.